This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 17. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Racha Kodesh Bakatham. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwatini Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, with whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And I come across this article and it made me think because showing the times we in and showing you just how desperate this devil is, and how this place is truly over with. This place, people think everything that glitters is gold, and that's not the case. It tells you in the scriptures that a gift destroys the heart because you know it talks about. That's why I started with that. Every perfect gift come from the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shah, from the Father of Lights. This devil offers gifts as well. I remember hearing that in the world, and you see it, he offered gifts with the stimulus. You got people so brainwashed now, they still expecting and waiting upon another stimulus. When, if that was the case, crime wouldn't have been going up. They're not planning on really giving you a stimulus because, they were basically, it's phases is what they're trying to do. They were stalling people off because when people got restless, people were going to react. But now that, like people getting money, but everybody's not getting money. Everybody isn't qualifying. Everybody didn't get stimuluses. Why? Everybody's supposed to qualify for one. This is just how full of shit all this is. Right now you got inflation kicking in. So, the government giving people more stamps, more of this, more of that. But I know people that's getting less. And that's all spiritual. And I just told the person, I'm going through a situation right now. So you say something, you say something and Satan don't want you to say, Satan, but the Most High allow that, because that ultimately is the Most High. The Most High allow that to see how you're gonna react to it. So Lord willingly, I'll react in a way that's pleasurable to the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shah. But Salaki for digression. At the end of the day, it was talk about, like I say, a gift destroys the heart. That's what scriptures talk about. And, just showing you how this place is over with because, from what I hear, now the Biden administration, they want to tax basically like all kind of incomes, any transactions over $600, they looking at as a form of income. Now, how could you do that? That's another mean. That's just showing you how slippery and slimy this serpent is. The scripture tells you never trust thine enemy, and a lot of you jakes. Well, I'm going to just bring it out. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So iron naturally rusts, and this red Hebrew Edomite is naturally wicked. You can't trust him in business matters because although Esau Edom is more upright than a 2/3 nigga, and I've actually experienced that. Esau might be the devil, but he will pay you. I've never just not been paid by Esau Edom. But 2/3 nigga, it's niggas I can't even catch up with that owe me money to this day. Ain't that something? That I might be a nigga too if I might kept running to these people. But nonetheless, like I say, so like these people don't. Esau Edom doesn't really stick to his word, So at the end of the day, like I said, people taking the PUA loans and all these different things. But not understanding that Esau Edom isn't upright, you know. So, like I said, if he's trying to tax, money, that transaction, if I send somebody $600, that could have been money that I had saved up my personal savings, but you want to tax it because it's a certain amount so you can actually keep this punk ass system going. That's some wicked and unrighteous decree. Let me get that real quick. This is Isaiah 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, meaning make wicked laws, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, because these wicked laws are grievous. Tells you the laws of Yahweh Shem Shai are not grievous. But this red Hebrew Edomites, his laws are grievous. So I'm going to bring out a little of this article. Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. It says, hold on, it says child tax credit. Parents who took the monthly child tax credit could owe money at tax time, by Karen Price Mueller. Parents in 2021 got a financial boost from the American Rescue Plan, which expanded the child tax credit and gave families monthly checks. The boosted full credit was $3,600 per child up to age 6, or $300 a month, and $3,000 per child ages 6 to 17, or $250 per month. The funds paid out monthly from June through December equaled half the total credit, but getting those monthly checks will leave parents with a smaller credit to claim on their 2021 tax returns. Right, because it was like they was fronting you the money. And show you how his tax credit is so fucked up, because like I didn't qualify for any of this, although I got stimulus. Now, because I got children. Now I take care of my kids. Now, and at one point I didn't even do anything illegal. My demon ran with my kids. She came back, so I had to move and change my life to accommodate her, because otherwise my kids would have been homeless. So they did stay with me. Thing is, when you got to prove that you got if you get audited, you got to prove that they was in school. You got to show records that they was staying with you. The thing is, when she moved back, it was the pandemic, so nobody was going into schools or whatnot. So they like just show you how full of shit the government is. Because I'm like, well, like how do you prove that? Like, I mean, as you can see, she's getting mail there. You saying that she stayed in another state, but if she's getting mail here and at the residence I'm using, then how am I lying? But because I can't prove it, what I mean? Like, this is some satanic shit. So basically, I was supposed to be awarded all this money, but based on the fact that because they didn't give me the tax credit, now I owe them money. So that could be the same for other individuals, you know what I mean? And that's just a wicked ass, like I said, that's just showing you how these checks and balances and how that fake and fucked up this system is. How you can go from supposed to be getting money and to now you owe money. That could leave some families in for a surprise. Depending on their overall tax situation, some families may receive a smaller than usual refund, while others may end up even owing money on the tax filing deadline, which this year is April 18th. Which, I was just reading something because my sister sent me something in regards to, they talking about another government shutdown. They talking about, and if it shuts down, it'll affect government paychecks. It'll affect the tax season. Then it'll affect food stamps by February 1st. So, may the Lord allow this devil, put it on the spirit to affect all that shit. Because Jake's still proud, maybe even more so prouder. I was just going back and forth with my demon, arguing with her today. I try not to, but, it just really will get me out my hookup is her pride. I was there when you was terrified when they locked this shit down, and now that they opened it up again, now, like most nigga women, back to, oh, yeah, feeling like they on top of the world when you at the bottom of the anthill for real. Like, most Jake are fucked up. We at a low state. But, some of the proudest people are these red Hebrew Edomites and these 2/3 niggas. Take this example. So you receive $1,500 in advance payments, or half of the full credit in 2021. You would then claim an additional $1,500 when you filed your 2021 return. But in 2020, before the credit was expanded, you had a $2,000 child tax credit. You were able to claim $500 more than you will for 2021. Depending on your tax situation, that's where you could end up owing more or getting a smaller refund than you expected. And that's just confusion. It tells you in the scripture that the Most High God is not the author of confusion. And that's why I started this lesson off basically with every perfect gift come from the Most High. And then how a gift destroys the heart. A lot of people, appreciated and ran and jumped on, this tax credit money. I didn't even qualify for it, although, based on their rules of their system, I should have. Yet still, now they're talking about you possibly could have owed money to them. And, and that's another thing about this system. This system, they literally, the government, you can't make them pay. When the government makes a mistake, when Esau Edom makes a mistake, they're not going to be liable for it. Like, okay, well, now if they say that you made a mistake or you're doing something fraudulent, yeah, you got to open up your whole life to these people. Yeah, it's still, like I say, people still trying to figure out, okay, all these taxes are being paid. You got all this money that just comes up missing. Where is this money going? Then you got all these black projects and whatnot. So that's the point. And if you got a raise or a higher paying job, it's possible you have to pay back some of all the monthly payments you received if your new income level puts you above. Now, that I didn't know. And if you got a raise or a higher paying job, it's possible you'll have to pay back some of or all of the monthly payments you received if your new income level puts you above the eligibility limits or above your 2020 income. So, right, because when you first signed up to get the tax credit, you may have been making a certain amount, but then being that, things changed, but you were locked in under a certain and like I said, that's just like how it happened with me with the with my situation as far as the tax credit. Bear with me for a second. Again, like I said, so basically, it's like you because of the fact that your income changed because you was locked in under that rate because you was locked in under that rate because of what you put on paperwork. But now that changed, you don't qualify in the same way. Just like so, like I said, a lot of stuff going on. You know what I mean? But like I say, that like with me, like I said, when I initially signed up for my taxes, I suppose I got a certain amount back. Then I got audited based on this goofy ass woman because she was in a completely different state. You know what I mean? So being that she was in a completely different state, that state audited her because in the state she was in, they still gave out monthly checks and whatnot. For being on public assistance. So when I used the socials for my children here, it was an audit done there. Yeah, just some crazy shit. I mean, I don't. I mean, certain things is no brother's business, but at the same time, just showing you the corruptness of this fucked up ass system. And that's why we need deliverance so bad. You know what I mean? How are you gonna set people up for a system to take advantage of a credit and then turn around and say that they may owe? Now, of course, like I say, the whole thing with this tax credit, it's like advance payments. So they expanded the tax credit. So you was getting a certain amount. I think it was 1,500 for a child. Then it went up to 2,000 during the CARES Act and all that stuff. So of course you'll get a bigger refund if you actually chose to get the tax credit. You know what I mean? You basically they're giving you your tax money in advance. But like they said, if your income changed, then your taxes change. So that's another part of this fucked up. Like I said, this the scriptures talk about a false balance is an abomination. You know what I mean? That you would have thought that they would have had something already set in place to to avoid things like that. Just like, but it sounds like another snare for Jake and even Esau Edom. And scriptures talk about how um, to, how could a person be good to who's wicked to to his own self. Roughly paraphrasing. I know I'm butchering it, but basically Esau Edom. What's going to affect Jake is going to affect some of his people as well. Because, Esau Edom is only worried about the top elite families. So, made me think of a couple scriptures. So, I think that's Habakkuk. I'll move in with that. This is the book of Malachi. This book of Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is the power of their hands. When you go into like this whole tax credit system, period, taxes, those that actually, like, you're not supposed to tax income. You're supposed to tax earnings. Earnings is not income. Income is from wages from a job. Earnings is wages from a business, or income from a business. Earnings. Business is, what I mean? Like you say, so, but some kind of way, they implemented. I think they actually like started taxing the individuals to pay and fund a war or something. I can't remember exactly what war. I think they did it back in the day with George Washington, and then I think they did it again. I want to say it was the Vietnam. It was one war. I remember that, and then they just never took it off the books. I can't remember what war it was, but it's a war. They basically start taxing personal individual's income, and then they just never took it off the books. And then that's when they was promoting women going to work so they could tax, because instead of just taxing the father, because at one point, when America was considered great, is a man could go and provide for his family while the woman stayed home and actually just took care of the household, like it should naturally be. But in this fucked up ass society, they promoted it. The woman working as well, and that's why you have such high as divorce rates and whatnot. That's why the world is so fucked up. So, and again, this devil is so, just like he's the son of perdition for real. When you take time to think about that, his greed caused the destruction of the household structure, not just Jake's, because he purposely did that one, and the Lord probably just put it on the spirit, and that affected his own people as well. Now, of course, it doesn't really affect the upper echelons of the elites, but for the most part, it affects, because you got to understand, Jake gonna play a part, but for the most part, it's gonna be Esau Edom destroying his own kingdom. It's gonna be Esau Edom fighting against Edom. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse. We'll start at verse 2. And the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. And when it says his, whose soul is it talking about? It's talking about Esau Edom's. Esau Edom, he's not upright. He's not straightforward. He's cunning and conniving and crafty. He's the one. In the background. Like that's why you had all these different organizations that Jake thought that they had a part in being infiltrated by Esau Edom. That's why you got situations like the Black Lives Matter. When you realize that, basically that wasn't really for the benefit of our nation. The intentions might have started off like that, but in the end, because of Esau Edom having a part and a play and infiltrating it, basically, it helped to be a huge detriment to our nation. Verse 5, yea, also because he transgressed by wine. One of his wines or philosophies, because wine goes into philosophies, is, like I said, to telling that the woman is equal to a man, that she could work. And by doing that, he destroyed the household. He destroyed the family structure. Because that's why you got women thinking that they're equal with a man, that they think they want to get into a ring and fight a man, that they could do whatever a man could do, that they're independent women. A man could really be more so by himself. A woman will go crazy being by herself. You see it all the time. That's the spirit, because I was just looking at this video on YouTube with the thumbnail, and it was talking about how a woman came to a realization that the only thing that she can really offer a man was her box. Because at the end of the day, most men could provide, a man might want some kobach here and there, but for the most part, if a man had to go, months, maybe years, because you got men that's locked up for years, that every man that locked up doesn't go fucking with the punks in there. I've seen men try to knock off the CO, or they go without. So, that's just a weak-minded man that you feel that you gotta release that bad that you like, even if, if fellatio or whatever, that's, any act, if you dealing with a man on a sexual nature, that's a homosexual act. And it's a penalty for that you're supposed to be put to death. Also because he transgressed by wine, he's a proud man. He's one of the proudest creations on the planet. This red Hebrew Edomite and a 2/3 nigga. I've began to notice that, the 2/3 nigga about is probably, well, he probably ain't as proud as Esau Edom, because I've seen Esau Edom in tanners and rags, just dirty, smelling like shit, and still proud. Want to be the first at the line in the soup kitchen, all that. Yeah. But, a 2/3 nigga is not that far behind. 2/3 nigga and then a nigga bitch. You know, like say, I know a nigga right now in a shelter, but you still proud as fuck talking shit. Like, yeah. Neither keepeth at home who enlargeth his desire is hell, because, he cannot be sated or satisfied. He's a carnal individual. That's why, like when Alexander the Greek kept on conquering, then they say, it's basically an account that basically once his soldiers stopped wanting to fight, he wept because he couldn't conquer anything else. That's insatiable, the greed of this devil. And it is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all nations and heaped unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. So that thick clay is this debt. And, he has bewildered and bewitched a lot of our people due to the fact because they like I said, they took that gift, that purse, that bag of clay, his debt, and now they saying you may owe money back. So, at the end of the day, beware of this devil. If you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I pray that you come out of this place. I pray that you come back to the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Elohim, like Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem, double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, in truth and faith and sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom, shalom, and Mawak Lababor, shalom.